Karsch and Anderson, our weekly conversation with the quarterback of the Lions, Jared Goff, who joins us now. And Jared, let's start with the beginning, driving down to Ford Field and getting in that building, the atmosphere, the fans. You played in Super Bowls. You played in Seattle a bunch. How did this compare?
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun that morning being there and seeing all the fans and tailgating, driving in. And then the energy in the crowd, it was the best home atmosphere I've ever played in front of, and excited for it to hopefully continue to be that way.
What time do you get there in the morning, and how did this one differ from previous game days when you get down there?
I get there the same time. This was no different.
No, I meant the crowd as far as what you saw out there. How different was it compared to what you've seen before on game days?
You're saying pregame?
Yeah, just driving in. Like, did you notice that there were more people?
Sure. Yeah. There was much more outside walking around, tailgating. A lot more people wearing jerseys walking around. There was much more excitement. And then even like you mentioned, pregame, being in the stadium pregame. Tons of more people there, and it was a lot of fun.
The crowd's that loud. Is it almost sometimes? Does it get too loud at times for you guys on the field?
Never. When we're on offense, you don't want them to be loud, but when we're on defense, be as loud as they want. They gave the Seahawks some issues in the procedure stuff, and it's an advantage for us. But no, when we're on offense, we'd like them to stay as quiet as possible.
You're a leader of this team. We took some calls from fans yesterday that were really almost panicked and not just losing the game, but the injuries as they piled up, and we got word of C.J. Gardner-Johnson and all that. Direct line to the fans. What do you say to those that are worried? How do you reinstill confidence?
Yeah, we're 1-1. We got 15 games left to see how the rest of the season shapes out. It's a long season. A lot of things come and go. A lot of things change. Obviously, sick about CJ. He'll be out for a little while, but it's a long year, and we got to make sure we're still coming ready to play every week and continuing to find a way to win games.
Got to ask about a play in that game. What was up with the late hit by Darrell Taylor, who just took a free run at you?
Yeah, I genuinely think it was an honest mistake. He thought I had the ball, and took a pretty good hit at me there. He did a little sack celebration, thinking he got a sack. Unfortunately, it was about a 10 to 15 yard gain going the other way. But yeah, he'll get a little check in the mail, I'm sure, at some point this week. But I know it was an honest mistake, so no harm.
So you get up and then you kind of walk over to him and say something. Were you kind of hoping that your offensive linemen were right behind you in a hurry, or were you ready to throw down at that point?
You think I'm ready to throw down at any point?
You're a bigger guy than people might think. I mean, you're 6'4", man. You're a professional football player.
Yeah, I'm not throwing down with anybody at any point. Certainly not during the middle of the game with the defensive lineman, but had some words for him, sure.
As a player, how long does it take for you to digest a loss like that and throw it in the garbage before you can concentrate on what's next up, which is the Atlanta Falcons? How long do you give yourself to, if you're beating up yourself or whatever?
Yeah, it's usually the 24-hour rule is what they say. Win or lose, I try to tend to move on even quicker than that and get in the building on Monday and even Sunday night and start on the next opponent. These weeks go by fast, and the further ahead you can get in your film study and where you're going to be, the more at ease you'll be towards the end of the week. So, I try to move on pretty quickly, win or lose.
One of the things early in this season, it looks like you've really immediately developed a chemistry with Sam LaPorta. 10 catches on 11 targets. He's making plays for you guys out there. He's getting open. Tell us a little bit about where he's at right now. And am I right? Is this an early chemistry that you've got with him?
Yeah, man. He does a hell of a job. Ever since he's gotten here, he's a guy that I've noticed has great hands, great football instincts, runs great routes, has a great feel for the game. I guess that's what I'm saying with the football instincts, and understands space, and is a guy that I began to trust, and I know where he's going to be. He's got really strong hands at the catch point. You saw that with that one late in the game on the 3rd and 12. So when guys are making plays across the middle and catching balls like he is, it gains a lot of trust from me to want to continue to give it to him. And he's still young, but he's learning, and we're still going right along.
Can you take us into the huddle and describe what it's like when things are going so well for you as an offense, like they were at times, most of the time on Sunday, and what are players saying when they get back in there into the? Are players more vocal? Is it business like? Anybody get cocky when things are going well? What's it like?
To be honest with you, it's the same as when it's in from the outside looking in, not going well. If we're driving right along, we're pretty steady. If we're not driving right along, we're pretty steady. I wish there was a better answer for you, but there isn't much emotion into it. You just kind of go about your business, play in and play out. The guys are ready to go. They're very focused and listen to the play and line up and execute. What
do you attribute that to? Is that your calming influence? Did somebody have a calming influence on you? Where does that come from?
I think it's just pretty standard in the NFL that guys have to be able to line up and do their job. If they're running super high with emotion in between plays, it's pretty hard to focus on what you're supposed to do. And I guess you can attribute it to the maturity level of our guys and certainly our offensive line and the way they set the tempo for us. So guys fall into place, but no, I mean it's very focused in there, and guys are ready to go.
Last drive of regulation. In retrospect, do you wish there was a greater sense of urgency to try and get the ball in the end zone?
It's a delicate balance, and I've got a lot of respect for that balance, that dance that you play. And of course you want to get 6 there. You want to score a touchdown on any of those plays. But at the same time, there's an idea in the back of your head that you don't want to kick a field goal with 45 seconds left. So you do have to run those scenarios as you're going, and it is a delicate dance there. But of course you'd like to get 6, and unfortunately we didn't. And then you lose the coin toss, you don't get a chance. But when we win the coin toss, you like to think it's a different game, and but it sometimes goes that way.
Could you tell, was Seattle specifically defending the end zone? I mean, did they defend it in such a way? No? Okay. Without David Montgomery, how ready is Jahmyr Gibbs for a bigger load?
Yeah, man, he's done a great job. He's done a great job getting himself ready. I think his workload was continuing to increase regardless, and David's done a hell of a job. I thought David ran his tail off the other day and gave us some stuff in some run game situations that weren't favorable, and he made some great runs after. So, we'll miss him, but Gibby's going to be ready to go, and it'll be good.
What do you look forward to most on game day? Is there a certain play that you've worked on in practice that you can't wait to execute? Is it simply testing yourself against the opposition? What is it about game day that you most look forward to?
Yeah, just getting a chance to compete. There's this finite amount of games that you get. You're guaranteed 17, and each one of them counts the same. So, late in the year, it happens every year. You guys and everyone else will make a big deal about week 13 through 17. And to be honest, week 3 is just as much as value as that one. So to us, it's all the same. You get a chance to compete every week and try to make the most of it.
What challenges do the Falcons, or does the Falcons defense present, and what team are they most like that you've played in the past?
I haven't played them yet, so I don't have a great answer for you. I may be able to answer it better on Monday next week, but on film, it's going to be a challenge because they have a new coordinator this year that we're, still trying to figure out what he's going to do. There's obviously 2 games of film out there that we'll watch and get a beat on, but there's some stuff that he'll do that, obviously isn't on film that, is just a new wrinkles for whatever they're doing on defense that we'll have to adjust to in game. But I don't know who they're most similar like that I played, but maybe I will after we play them.
A couple of plays were fun on Sunday. The flea flicker, a look that you guys, I'm sure, had kind of watched, maybe set that up a little bit. Take us through that play from beginning to end.
Yeah, that was a great drop. I believe that was a Seth Ryan drop earlier in the week. One of our coaches, that was his idea, and when they have their safety down like that, they like to play aggressive to that side. We made it look like a lot of our runs look, and Cleek did a great job being an actor there on that play. And for me, it became pretty easy, just kind of lay it out there for him, and he made the rest. So it was a good little play. I think when it came in the headset, we all had a good feeling it would score, and it was awesome.
And right before half, you guys came dangerously close on that last play to scoring a touchdown. I don't know if that was something. Typically, you just throw a jump ball into the end zone, but you guys almost executed that to perfection.
Yeah, man. I was we called just all go, basically 4 verts, and I don't know why they were in single high press, but they were, and they gave us a chance to throw it, and St. Brown made the catch, unfortunately ended in a fumble, but more times than not, you think he'd get out of that tackle and have a chance to score. So, it was a good little chance for us there. It didn't go our way.
Really cool day on Sunday with the Barry Sanders statue being unveiled. They had people in there, Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders there, Flavor Flav was there, other people paying tribute on the big screen. Who are three legends from sports and entertainment that a 15-year-old Jared Goff would really get excited about? Not that you weren't on Sunday, of course, but when you were 15, who would the three people be?
Man, that's a good question. One of them I got to meet last year is Eminem, for sure. Nice. For sure. That was starstruck by him and how obviously amazing he's been for years. Who else in football? I growing up, Joe Montana, when I was 15 years old, that was, he's from the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay Area. He used to play for the Niners. That's a good one. I'll say him, and I will go with, when I was 15 years old. Let's say, oh man, this is hard. I'm going to go with LaDainian Tomlinson. He was on my fantasy team when I was about that age and got me a bunch of points.
Hilarious.
So let's go with him.
One more thing about the game Sunday. I forgot it because watching the touchdown pass to Josh Reynolds in the fourth quarter, watching you, was he your fourth read on that play?
He was.
How often do you even get to the fourth read?
It depends. Depends on the play call and what the defense is presenting. I think more often than not, Ben would like to say that he'd like to have one or two, number one or number two open, majority of the time. But yeah, sometimes you got to get backside, and that play in particular gets backside a lot. So I was prepared to get all the way back through it.
Lastly, Jared, do you have a good poker face? Because you mentioned when that flea flicker is called, everybody kind of gets excited. Do you have to have a good poker face? Do you have to tell the rest of the team, shut up, we got this, all right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're not looking at my face from the other sideline or across the field. I can get excited. But yeah, I don't typically want, show the excitement. You never know. It could not work. Who knows? This is football. It's hard, but you have a pretty good idea it's going to work. And when that ball got put back to me and I see Khalif running free, yeah, you can get excited then and want them one for an easy touchdown.
Well, Jared, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us. Good luck this week, and we'll talk next week.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
There he is, Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff, our weekly interview here on 97.1 The Ticket.